Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Podcast Awards office hours. We're doing it from 2 to 3 today, and thank you for joining us. We're here to answer any questions you may have about the Canadian Podcast Awards. Head over to our YouTube if you have any questions you want to ask. We're at youtube.com/CampOutAwards. We'll be mostly monitoring for comments there and questions there, but we will keep an eye on the other platforms we're on, Twitch and Instagram. We'll try to make sure we don't miss any questions, but if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chats. Anything from about how the awards work to why we're doing the awards to what the process is like to why we do things the way we do, ask away. You may have heard our cat playing the piano in the background there, but hopefully he's done. Nope, there he goes again. He loves playing the piano. Hey, Ashley, playing your piano? Too shy now? So anyways, we're already here to answer your questions, chat about the awards, chat about podcasting industry, chat about your favorite TV shows, whatever you want to do. Ashley. Can everyone hear me?
I don't know if I can't get the volume to work on Instagram. But I'm not sure.
Can anyone hear me? Type it in the chat.
Okay.
It's working on Instagram?
Yeah, but it seems hecka quiet.
Okay, I'll turn that. Should be at the highest volume. What about on Twitch and stuff? Is the volume okay in there?
Yes.
All right, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the chats. And we'll just sit here waiting for questions. We obviously want to thank our sponsors, Shure, Amber Mac Media, Web Hosting Canada, Lashinsky Design, and PodCamp Toronto. They're big supporters this year, and we're thanking them for their support. They help make this happen, and they help make events happen throughout the year as well. Things like Fan Expo and Comic-Con wouldn't happen unless we had support from them for the awards. Those events generally cost us money to put on, and there's no recouping of those costs for those events for us. They're also usually big supporters of PodCamp Toronto, which is coming up February 28th and March 1st. Tickets are now available for PodCamp, so head over to podcamptoronto.com to get your tickets. Also, session submissions are open now as well, so submit your sessions. As you may or may not know already, hopefully you already know, the nominations for the Canadian Podcast Awards this year close November 1st. The awards are open for anyone who's produced content in 2024. At least 5 episodes in 2024 is usually the rule, and you just have to nominate yourself, get other people to nominate you. The more nominations you get, the better your chances. The top 5 nominated podcasts in each category move on to the voting round, and the top nominated podcasts across all categories, top 10 of them, get moved into the People's Choice Award, which is open to voting by the public. So that's my pitch. That's my spiel. What else did we talk about yesterday? You can watch our these office hours later on YouTube, just to see if there's any questions that you didn't get to ask or that you think someone else may have asked. You can watch these back and maybe get some answers. One thing important for people who think they've been nominated or nominated themselves is that you do have to confirm your participation to move forward into the next round. So what that means is you should get an email from us saying confirm your participation. There should be a link in there to confirm your participation, and there's a couple check boxes to make sure that you've updated your team manifest. So everyone who works on your podcast, we want to know about them, and that all your information is up to date with your current socials, etc., etc. Most of the information we get for your podcast is through your RSS feed. So a lot of the information is mostly secondary stuff that we're looking for, like your socials, like your team manifest. If your podcast provider doesn't allow you to put in the people tag, part of podcasting 2.0. So we require you to do that and put your sample files in there as well. If you didn't get an email, you can go to our website and search for your podcast in the directory and click the edit button under your podcast. That'll take you to the same page the email takes you to. Right at the top of the page, you'll be able to confirm your participation, whether you've been nominated or not, I believe. So confirm and then nominate yourself, or the other way around. But we require you to confirm that you're going to participate, so we're not chasing people down for their videos in case they win. And then if they don't have a video, then it's kind of disappointing for the evening that you're not there's no one to accept an award for a category. Also for the categories, if we don't get at least 5 verified and confirmed entries in a category, we won't run that category. It doesn't make sense for us to have a category where there's 2 podcasts, 3 podcasts, 4 podcasts. We need at least 5. So if you think that you're kind of a niche podcast and you don't think that category is going to get filled up, find other people in your niche to submit themselves right away. Nominations close November 1st. We typically, the categories that see the lowest participation, sound not working on something?
It's fine, it just keeps turning off.
Typically the categories that receive some of the lower participation is things like the specialized categories. Indigenous receives not a lot of participation in it, but we always try and find podcasts to submit to that. Francophone's not seen a big amount of submissions this year. We'd love to see more Francophone podcasts submit in that podcast. What? In that category? Let's see what else here. Kids and family might get cut this year. So if you have a podcast that's education for kids, kids and family, parenting, pets and animals, or stories for kids category, submit to that category. Science is pretty low, but it'll make it through probably. Technology is pretty low, and true crime for the first time ever is one of the lower entry categories. So if you have a podcast in those categories and you're like, well, I'm not going to win anyway, so I'm not going to enter, well, you very well could on those categories. But everything else is pretty good. We're already close to, 200 people have nominated podcasts. We have almost 300 podcasts nominated. 1,300 individual nominations right now. So it's filling up, but you have until November 1st to nominate yourself. Other podcasts that you know that are Canadian, we have a foreign category that you can nominate podcasts you listen to from other countries. The States is usually a big winner of those categories, but if you know podcasts in Europe or Asia or Australia or South America, we'd be happy to feature more of those voices, particularly at a time like this. So, Johnny said in the chat, "Hi, thank you for your help the other day. The CAPTCHA issue got resolved." Yeah, so like processing people's files for the samples, the reason we do it the way we do it is because we don't have the money or the resources to allow you to just upload a file to our website. That costs a lot of money, the bandwidth, the storage, and it just costs money to do it. So we require you to submit a link. We have an FAQ page that has detailed instructions on how to do it for different platforms. We uploaded the video on how to do it for archive.org last night, so you can find the link to that in our FAQ. But yeah, we just require people to do a little step of giving us a sample file so the judges can listen to it when they vote on each category. Ideally, everyone's listening to every podcast in the category that they're voting on and making the decision that way. So having a sample file helps them make the decision. But the verifying files, it can sometimes be tricky. The specific issue we had with Johnny's podcast is that their hosting platform was issuing a CAPTCHA to make sure that our robot wasn't a robot, and obviously our robot is a robot, so it failed those tests. So we had to find some workarounds for that. So hopefully that issue no longer happens. But we've had issues with other platforms where we have to, tweak things here and there to make sure it works. So if you're having any issues, just message us, and we're happy to take care of it. Anything else? Oh yeah, we got a message today about like, oh, why do you ask for people's citizenships? That's kind of exclusionary. And like, yeah, it is. Imagine a bunch of Americans were coming in to win Canadian Podcast Awards. That's not really what we want. We want to focus this on the Canadian podcasting community. Whether you're a citizen or a permanent resident or naturalized, we want to be able to feature you over people from other countries. It wouldn't be fair to have the Canadian Podcast Awards winners be people from Russia or America or any other country. So it is a bit exclusionary, and we do ask for a fair bit of information to be able to verify that you're Canadian, that you are who you say you are, that you work on the podcast that you say you work on, because it's one person that goes through all of these applications manually to verify it. Jennifer, she goes through all of them. We've had over 200 people join this year since we opened the nominations, so she's been going through all of those every day, hours a day, making sure people are Canadian and podcasters. So big thanks to Jennifer for doing all of that. She also handles all the social media stuff, so if you're ever talking to us on Instagram or what else do we Blue Sky, mostly Instagram, it's usually Jennifer. Unless you're having a technical issue, then I'll probably jump in there and be the one replying to you. What else? It's important to be networking to get votes for your podcast, nominations for your podcast. So we do have a Canadian Podcasters Discord where you can campaign for votes. You can get to that Discord if you are logged into the Canadian Podcast Awards website. You can scroll down to the footer. There'll be an icon there for Discord. If you're not logged in, you won't see it. We're kind of gatekeeping that a little bit so not just any random person can join it. But it's a Discord set up by Al Grego, who does Just Good Business, Yes, We Are Open, and the Produce Stand podcast. So make sure to join that Discord to connect with other Canadian podcasters. There's a jobs area in there. There's a gear trade area. There's specific channels for each province. There's an events tab in there. There's an events calendar as well. You can see what events are coming up. I know Winnipeg has a meetup that's one of the Sundays every month. I'll take a look and see what it is. And you can find out about the Winnipeg Podcasting Meetup on Facebook, but we do have a link to it on the Discord, I believe. So yeah, the next one appears to be Sunday, November 23rd. So if you have a podcast and you want to campaign to other people in Winnipeg, and you are in Winnipeg, head out to that event and campaign for votes. Also, PodCamp Toronto is coming up that's in this calendar. But yeah, it's a great community to just be able to chat with other Canadian podcasters in your region or across the country. In terms of work opportunities, we're seeing right now that there's positions open for CBC Radio Canada for French services. So if you parlez en français, that might be a job for you. They were also looking for senior news producers for podcasts a little bit ago. That job might be open still. But yeah, all the links to those kind of jobs are in the work opportunities channel in the Canadian Podcasters Discord. So feel free to join and take a look. What else?
Send us business cards.
If you have business cards or stickers, preferably not postcards, but we'll take those as well. But we will bring your business cards and stuff like that you send us to all of the events we go to. So Fan Expo, Comic-Con, PodCamp, all the other events we go throughout the year that we kind of attend as the Canadian Podcast Awards. So feel free to send us whatever you have. You can DM us for our address, or it should be at the bottom of every email we send out as required by, I believe, legislation. So yeah, send us your business cards and we'll hand them out at any event we go to. Even less questions today than yesterday. I guess after business hours is the best time to do these. We may do these again in the future during the year sporadically. Probably do them half an hour instead of a full hour. It's only 16 minutes in and I am out of content. Are there any questions? Any questions? Questions about the awards? Questions about TV shows that you love, or people you want to see win an award this year, or anything? What our plans are this evening. Yeah, it looks like Furball Confidential is in the stream right now on Instagram. I don't know if that's a podcast about pets, but feel free to submit yourself to Kids and Family because that category accepts podcasts about pets. So as long as it's part of your categories that you listed in iTunes and Spotify. So the way the category podcasts work is it's based on what you put in your RSS feed as your categories. So if you put comedy as a category in your RSS feed, and it shows up in comedy in iTunes, and it shows up in comedy in Spotify and any other service, that's what you'll be eligible for in our awards. So make sure you're tagged in whatever category you want to apply in, so that you can be nominated in those categories. We just did Campfire, which was great. It was at Christie Pitts Park. It's a small event that we do every fall/end of summer, where we just get around a campfire and hang out. It's kind of a networking/socializing event. It's really fun, and you get to roast marshmallows and eat hot dogs over a fire. So that's great. Are there any plans for an award nominated by the community for people that have helped grow it? So we do have a category for that we haven't done in a little bit. It's a little hard to find people for that category specifically because it's the Goyetch Award. Bob Goyetch was someone who was early in the community, putting together events, Podcasts Across Borders. He was helping out with PodCamp Toronto. He was a big community member. So we have an award in his memory for people who contribute to the community. So we do have that award. If people know someone who they think should be eligible for that award, DM us, send us an email. We haven't had that open for a while because a lot of the submissions we were getting for it were just like the heads of networks or the heads of companies, which wasn't really in the spirit of it. It's more for people who are building community, not people who are building businesses. So that's kind of why we stopped doing those. Uh, Ideally, if you have someone who's outside of Ontario, we would love to award someone that award who's not in Ontario. If you know anyone in BC or the Atlantic coast or any of the other provinces, we'd love to hear about it. Traditionally, it's only gone to people in Ontario, so we'd love to see that award make its way out of Ontario. There's a lot of podcasters in Ontario and a lot of podcasting communities in Ontario, so it makes sense that so far that's been it, but it's been a few years since we've done it, so hopefully there's more people out there that can be nominated. But yeah, we do have an award category for that. It's just not publicly exposed. And usually we just pick the person sometimes. Or no, was that open for votes?
No, it's an awarded thing.
Yeah, it's an awarded thing. It's like a governor's award. So I guess like we just decide out of the people who are nominated who wins.
Based on individual.
Yeah, I think it does suck, but I think it maybe wasn't entirely clear what it was that what we were looking for. Anytime, I don't know if people can see the blue light, but anytime the blue light goes off, it means someone's nominated a podcast. Yeah, it may not have been clear exactly what we were looking for, how community focused we wanted it to be. We're not in copywriting or marketing, or well, I kind of am, but I'm a graphic designer in marketing, not a copywriter, to clarify these things. So if you're a copywriter, we're always looking for help. If you're someone who does fundraising for a living, we're always looking for help. A lot of the stuff we do is only because of either our personal finances or the sponsors that sponsor our events and the awards. So Sure, Amber Mac Media, Web Hosting Canada, Lashinsky Design, which is me, and PodCamp Toronto, which is the event we run every February for the last 18 years for the digital media community in Toronto and anyone across the world who wants to come. We've had people come from like Africa, like India, and like wild, like far places to PodCamp. So it's great to see. I love having everyone out. But it's a lot of GTA people, Southern Ontario people that come out to that. But yeah, we're always looking for help fundraising. Things like, I don't know if this is of interest to anyone, but I was pulling up our budgets for the different events that we do. So like Campfire that we just did, the expenses for that were $436, and the ticket sales for that didn't quite cover that. So that's, money out of our pocket that we have to pay to run that event. Luckily, we have money left over from some of our other events that we're able to cover that. Things like Fan Expo, where there's no cost recovery on that, so we lean heavily on reserves and personal finances. That usually costs between $1,500 to $2,000 for us to put that on for people. And it's mostly the food and drinks we provide people, the transportation to get all of the equipment and stuff back and forth, software, supplies, all that sort of stuff that takes to run events like that. Comic-Con is actually coming up. We'll probably be requesting applications for that shortly. Well, not shortly, like February?
In the new year.
Yeah, in February probably. Usually we get notified very last minute of who's been accepted, so know that going into it, and also fill out the form completely and fully with all of the information. If you don't have any information at the time, don't fill it out, right? Until you have all the information. Again, Jennifer manages all of that, so she has to chase people down to get the complete information if you don't fill out the information, or if you put to be determined or whatever in there. We need to know the full information because we have to submit that information to Fan Expo so that they can approve that we even have a booth and who is allowed to come to the booth. Yeah, if you know any fundraisers that want to help out, let them know. Uh, entirely volunteer run organization.
Don't talk about cuts.
Don't what? Entirely volunteer run organization. So always happy to have other volunteers who can contribute in a lot of the other meaningful ways that we need help with, like even like video editing and stuff, or like we could probably use help with. Fundraising is a big one. Volunteers at events is big. Just having people to manage the rooms, watch the rooms, watch our booth when we go look around Fan Expo or Comic Con ourselves. We rarely get to do that. We did this year because we had a bunch of podcasters that we knew we could leave at the booth unsupervised. But yeah, we're always looking for volunteers who can show up and provide actual support on the areas that we need. Anything else? I have quite a while to go here. If anyone wants to ask any questions that you just joined and you think maybe it's already been asked and answered, feel free to ask it. I have a lot of time to fill here. This goes until 3. So ask your question. I'll answer it again and again for the next hour. Doesn't have to be specifically the awards. You could be asking about PodCamp. You could be asking about the Toronto podcasting, the Prop Expo that we do is another community event we do. Any of the other events we do, PodCamp that's coming up. What else do we do? What places we like to go to in the city, our favorite places, what we're watching on TV, where we're going tonight. Any questions? I'm not entertaining enough to fill the next half an hour just rambling to myself. So please ask a question. I'm begging you. Is there audio on Instagram? It's working on Instagram, right?
For me, I have to keep leaving and going back in, like, repeatedly. I don't know. It seems like it's working, but...
Instagram, it's working on Instagram, right?
For me, I have to keep leaving and going back in, like, repeatedly. I don't know.
No, it seems like it's working,
Yeah,
I think.
I have to just keep going back in.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, everyone on Instagram can hear us then. All right, Johnny. Well, thanks for showing up and asking a bunch of questions. But yeah, if you know anyone, happy to chat with people to help us out with fundraising. Have a fun meeting. I'm sure it could have just been an email. I'm sure this could have just been an email. I love Coca-Cola. I wish they would sponsor us. What's your go-to spooky movie for Halloween? We've actually been watching all of the Hammer films. So a lot of Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. We just watched one of his vampire Dracula ones. I guess he was like emotionally blackmailed into doing all those movies. It's kind of wild. You may know him more as Count Dooku or Sauron. Not Sauron, right?
Yeah.
He's Sauron? Isn't that the guy with the eye? Who's the eye guy?
Sauron?
Oh, Saruman? I don't know. One of the two. Come up with more original names, guy. And Peter Cushing, you probably know as Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. That's how I know them. Jennifer knew them from these Hammer films, so we've been watching these for the Halloween season. Frankenstein, Dracula. I think The Mummy is downloading right now. The Gorgon. Something about children who are radioactive. The Damned. I fall asleep during some of them. Any other questions? What? We're going to a Halloween show tonight. What's the show?
Boa's variety show, and then
Boa's variety show, and then
Lady Gaga
Lady Gaga.
something. Saka's doing that one.
Saka Queen is doing a show, Lady Gaga themed. So we'll be running around the city tonight. No, not in costume, but that's what we have to leave like after this to go start getting ready and head down. We live up in North York, so it's a little bit of a trick to get downtown. But yeah, open for any questions. Personal, professional, random. I know someone asked yesterday what editing software we use for the awards. It's a mix of After Effects and Premiere. I only started learning After Effects like 4 years ago when we did the first online awards with a very old computer, so it took a long time to put together the awards that first time, especially when I was learning After Effects. But now I'm a little bit faster. I have it where I use expressions to take all of the podcasts that are winning and nominating from a text file, and it just generates a lot of it for me, so it's a bit easier to put together. The biggest hurdle is making sure everyone gets their videos in on time. Hey Al, making sure everyone gets their video in on time and that we can put it together. Al's question for me is, why am I so damn good looking? It's a lot of plastic surgery. That's mostly what all the money you give us goes for. It's plastic surgery for me. You can tell I've had a lot of work done. Al says hi, Jen. He can hear you if you say hi.
Hi! I already said hi on Instagram.
But yeah, that's why I'm so good looking. I don't think anyone's ever asked that before, so I did. No, I can't probably talk about that. Internet's hottest guy.
Oh.
No, I shouldn't mention that. But yeah, we're here to answer any questions you have. Al, I was just talking about the Canadian Podcaster Discord. Everyone should jump on that and be able to nominate each other. Thank goodness I thought it was AI. It'd make it a lot easier. Yeah, I was talking about the Canadian Podcaster Discord that you put together, so everyone should get on the Canadian Podcaster Discord. If you're on the CamPod website and you're logged in, it's in the footer there. There's a little Discord icon that you can click on to join the Discord. If you're logged out, you won't see it. Kind of gatekeeping a little bit, but just want to make sure that it's not just overrun by randos. From a link that we're putting out there. If Al wants randos to be in it, you can ask Al for a link to it. But for us, you have to be logged in to see the link. And again, Canadian Podcast Awards, tickets are available now. Or PodCamp Toronto, tickets are available now. And session submissions are open as well, so if you have anything you want to talk about, teach people about, those are open as well. Everyone should absolutely join the Canadian Podcast Discord. It's where all the cool kids hang out. The cool kids and us. And it's a great free resource. There's a jobs posting area in there, gear exchange area, a place where you can campaign for votes for the awards, and not just the Canadian Podcast Awards, but every other awards that are out there. I think people are asking for votes for the Signal Awards recently, so great place to connect with the Canadian podcasters. And thanks to Al for setting that up and letting us kind of ride the coattails of that a little bit. Yeah, check it out. I don't know if we can put the links in Instagram chat, right? Links don't work in Instagram? Probably not. They don't work in comments. Why would they work in lives?
Yeah.
Or you can DM us after this is done and we can send you the link. We should probably set up an automation, just like anytime it says the word Discord to us, it gives them the link. Yeah, we were talking about the en français jobs for CBC. And we were talking about how we need more Francophone podcasts to enter the awards this year. We're very light on French-speaking podcasts. So if you know of any French podcasters, en français podcasters, have them come and nominate themselves and their friends. We definitely want to support the other official language in Canada. We're both on Duolingo every day trying to learn more French. I don't know if it's really working. Like maybe I'm remembering more of like my grade school French, but maybe I could follow along in a conversation someone else was having, but I definitely could not have a conversation of my own in French or write in French. So, but we're trying to learn. And if there's any French podcasters out there that have translation corrections for us on our press releases or our logos or stuff like that, then let us know. We're not French speaking, so we need the support on that end. Yeah, we love Pop-Up Podcasting. We're glad that they were able to give us a little shout out in their newsletter and have more people come and be a part of this community. Any other questions that we had yesterday that maybe I could answer again?
I don't know, maybe reiterate again that it's an industry award for
Yeah.
Canadian
So this is a question we had yesterday was about, it being an industry award. This is an industry award. You have to be Canadian and a podcaster to sign up and nominate other podcasts and yourself. That's our bare minimum requirements. We want this to be something that celebrates Canadian voices and Canadian content. So that's why there's those restrictions on it. Which Canadian podcasts out there, I just don't think that they hear about us enough. And a lot of like the big name French podcasts on the Radio Canada, they went to a closed wall model, so they are no longer eligible for a Canadian Podcast Award because they don't have an open RSS feed and you can't get their podcast on any platform. You have to use their platform. So they became ineligible when they decided to do that. It's unfortunate. Whatever business decision the French side of CBC wanted to make versus the English side, I'm not sure. But because they have their own platform that's not open for us to be able to pull the information from via an RSS feed, they are no longer eligible. And an RSS feed is our minimum requirement for any podcast to be submitted to our database. If you're a previous winner from a category, how long are you precluded from qualifying again? Currently, forever. We may revise that at some point in the future. Maybe at our 10th awards, we would reset all of that. We're also probably looking at reworking how the awards are judged as well. So it's not just a simple vote for each podcast. Maybe you have to rank each podcast, kind of like how the Ambies does it. So that would maybe we would maybe start charging for awards, for entering the award at that point if we did make these changes. But currently it's forever. Maybe we'll reset it at 10 years. That seems like a long enough time, in my opinion. But the idea is that we don't want just the same people to win the same award over and over again, which could very well be the case. We see the same podcast submit every year to different categories, and they get a large amount of nominations and votes because they either have networks behind them or they've done a lot of great networking within the community, or they know a lot of other Canadian podcasters, or they have people work on their show. So we certainly encourage people to do that, but we want to be able to allow other people to be recognized in these categories as well. Yeah, PR and spreading the word to indie podcasters. 90% of the people who are members are indie podcasters of the Canadian Podcaster Awards. Uh, Spreading the word definitely is something that we could use help on. Um, so share our stories, share our posts to your communities. If you're on Instagram, share them in your stories. Whatever that reshare thing does now. What is that? It's just repost into your feed. Um, that's a new thing that Instagram's doing. We're also on Blue Sky, so share our posts over there if you're over there. Those are the two main ones we're on. We're on LinkedIn as well, so if you're on LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn and share those as well. We need everyone to spread the word about the awards and spread the word about the community here. It only grows if you tell someone else about this. We don't spend money on a lot of ads. We're spending ads this year on the awards nomination period, but we're only spending like $80, which doesn't go very far. But we don't want to spend all of the money on ads and marketing because we need that money to run the awards and run our different events that we do. So if we have more money, we could spend on ads. So if you know anyone who wants to be a sponsor, have them hit us up. We're open for sponsors for every category. You can be a sponsor. Category sponsorship starts at $1,000. Sponsoring the whole award starts at $500 up to $10,000. PodCamp also has sponsorship packages that start at $500 and go up to, I think, $2,500. So these are all not big dollar amounts.
We do have 35 and 5,000 packages.
We do. Yeah, like we can do custom packages as well if you're interested in specific aspects of sponsorship or different programs that you want to run. Another nomination. So we're open to anyone who wants to sponsor. If you run a business podcast perhaps and you work for a corporation that maybe would want to promote your podcast or your business's services to other Canadian businesses, you could sponsor the business category for $1,000. It's not a lot of money, and you get an ad on that awards category for forever, for that year. It stays up on our YouTube. It stays up on our website. So we think there's some value in it. I guess you just have to pitch it to people that you know that have businesses or have a marketing budget that would be interested in maybe supporting Canadian content creators, especially at a time like this. Always looks good to support Canadian content and businesses and the Canadian economy right now for reasons we don't need to go into particularly, but we all know what those reasons are. But we're always open to having people reach out to us to sponsor the awards, PodCamp, Campfire. If someone wanted to sponsor us going to Fan Expo or Comic Con, we'd be open to that as well. Or if you run an event in another province or somewhere away and you want us to come and run our booth program there for podcasters and you want to sponsor us to come out there, hit us up. If you're having an event anywhere in the GTA, hit us up. We'll come out to your event. So we're always looking for ways and avenues to help support Canadian podcasters, Canadian content creators, Canadian community. You just need to reach out to us. Awesome. Have fun at school pickup. Oh yeah, I guess school ends at 3 o'clock or something, right? Any other questions for us? We have 20 minutes left? 15 minutes left? As I was saying earlier, if anyone knows a sponsor from Coca-Cola, we'll take sponsorship and product. I go through like 1 liter a day, 2 liters a day. So it'd be nice if they were a paid sponsor. I'll put their logo on a jacket or something. I don't care. Any other questions? Professional, personal, random? Can be about anything. I have 15 minutes to fill. Ask your craziest question now. Well, I guess I'll go over the sponsors again. We have Shure this year sponsoring the Canadian Podcast Awards, Amber Mac Media, which is sponsoring the debut category, Web Hosting Canada, which is a sponsor as well, overall sponsor, Lashinsky Design, which is myself. I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web developer. I do all of the graphics and stuff and video for the Canadian Podcast Awards and PodCamp. And PodCamp Toronto is a sponsor as well. It's an event we run for the last 18 years for the digital creator community here in Toronto, February 28th, March 1st. Tickets are available now, as are session submissions open currently. How about those Blue Jays? Yeah, I guess, they have to win just the next game and they win the whole thing, right? I don't know much about sports ball. We're the wrong people to be talking about sports. If you want to talk about drag queens, we're experts on those. If they win tonight, they win everything. Might be interesting to get around downtown tonight if they do win. Might be a little bit of a, or if they, I guess if they lose, it doesn't matter. The next game would be the one that if they lost, there might be a riot. Well, hopefully there are no riots. We have places to be tonight. Another nomination. We have a light that goes off anytime someone makes a nomination. It's rate limited to once per minute, so if people are making like 30 nominations in the same minute, it doesn't go off 30 times, but we get a little light flash anytime someone nominates a podcast. Just so that we can keep up to date while we're watching TV or something, that things are still happening. But yeah, if the Blue Jays win, that'd be great. Wonder if any Blue Jays podcasts have submitted this year to the sports category. Be a good time for your favorite sports podcast to hear about the awards, so they can nominate themselves before November 1st. What nominations are we at so far? So I think we've hit last year's numbers, on track to do a bit more than that. Where's the browser that I had open for that? I was saying earlier that we need more submissions in the science, true crime, technology, kids and family, Indigenous and Francophone categories to fill those out. If we don't get at least 5 nominations in each category, we don't run those categories for that year. But right now, almost 300 podcasts have been nominated. Individual podcasts have been nominated so far, so that's pretty good. Some podcasts have got quite a few nominations. So the top 10 nominations across all categories get put into the People's Choice, which is open to the voting by the public. It's our only public voting category. We're focused on this being an industry award, but we do want to recognize that the audience is an important part of this. So we have this one category for audience vote. Yeah, it's kind of surprising that true crime has been one of the lower categories this year. It's usually real gangbusters on that category. So I don't know if that's an indication of trends in the industry. Maybe true crime podcasts are waning a bit in their popularity. I know that we do see less podcasts overall kind of in the database. We saw, like when we were looking at the stats from our previous years and the number of podcasts that started in what year, COVID, a lot of podcasts started in COVID, like triple the amount of podcasts that start any other year. But now we're seeing fewer podcasts start up every year. So that could be a reason why we're seeing a little bit less submissions in these categories. A lot of podcasts that started during COVID are coming to the end of their runs. Shows like Spooked has been running for several years and they're doing their final episode this year. Several other podcasts that we know are ending their runs after starting during COVID and doing it for 4 or 5 years now. So we're seeing a little bit of drop off in podcasts from the COVID era, and not as many podcasts starting up as there were back then. So a little bit of a dip in the Canadian industry, but as far as we can tell, but I'm sure we'll see it bounce back. Hopefully, it doesn't take another pandemic, but more podcasts being nominated right now.
You can't see it.
It shows up later, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Oh, you can see it? I wonder if people are doing it now just to see the light flash. But yeah, we're going to have, 9 more minutes of this? So if you have any questions, ask them now. We may do these again at some point during the year, maybe before PodCamp, we'll do something like this. Maybe before we do other events, we'll do office hours. Really, these are just kind of designed to get people to know about the awards, see the awards, and ask us any questions they may have that they don't normally get to ask. Subscribe to our YouTube. Go over to our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, and make sure you get notifications. Hit the bell or whatever you do on YouTube now to get ready for when we stream the awards. Hopefully at the end of November, as long as everyone submits their videos on time.
And those follows help us get sponsorship.
And every follow, every view helps us get more sponsors. Loop previous year's videos in the background while you're working. Whatever it takes. Every view counts. Sponsors look at the views. Sponsors look at the engagements. So the more you engage with our content, the more you watch, view, share everything we do, the more we can pitch to advertisers and sponsors to support the Canadian Podcasting Awards and the Canadian podcasting community. And the more sponsors we get, the more we can do for the community as well. Costs a lot of money to run events. PodCamp Toronto takes $6,000 minimum to run at this point. And doing any events like the event in January that we did, where we brought people out to the Storm Crow, that typically would cost $6,000 to put on just that one event because of bar minimums in Toronto. So we got that event. They offered the venue for us to us for free that year for the Storm Crow. So hopefully they have a promotion the same this year. If you know of any bars in the city or private event spaces in the city, condo rooms, party rooms, whatever, we'd love to have like an in-person watch party for the awards. But obviously we aren't going to pay $6,000 to do a watch party when we don't bring in $6,000 a year for the awards even. So you know of a space that wants to offer us the space for free, that has a lot of TVs that people can gather, have some drinks, have some food while we watch the awards together, and do maybe photo ops afterwards with the award. Let us know. We're happy to do stuff like that. Ideally in the GTA. If you're outside of the GTA, if someone wants to pay for us to travel to the location as well as give us the space, we can certainly do that. But we don't have a car, so we're not driving anywhere. But yeah, if you know of a space, we're happy to hear about it and have it like an in-person gathering for the awards. Any last questions before we start to wrap up here? We have maybe 5-6 minutes left. Any questions about the awards? Any questions about PodCamp? Any questions about who we are? The Canadian Podcast Awards currently is just me and Jennifer, 2 of us doing this for free, volunteer. We don't make any money on this. Never have and probably never will. I'd love for this to be our full-time job. Neither of us are working right now, actually, so this would be great to be a full-time job, but really needs to be able to sustain itself first before we can start paying people to be a part of it. So it's entirely volunteer run. We rely on the generous sponsors such as Shure, Amber Mac Media, Web Hosting Canada, to fund the event, to make sure that we can purchase software, pay for hosting, pay for the music creation, pay for any of the services that we need to put the video together and run the awards, and just have a website, have domain names, have emails. It costs so much to send emails, like, it's crazy. But yeah, we need more sponsors, we need more support. So if you know anyone in fundraising that could help us out, let us know. We're always open to advice and help in that regard, and that'll allow us to do more stuff, because it's just the two of us, and my expertise is in making things look pretty. Jennifer's expertise is in managing and administrative roles. Neither of us really do this kind of stuff as like a profession. I guess it's kind of professional now, seeing as we do this, but unpaid professional. What?
For them to check their spam. If they think they should be getting an email from us.
If you think that you should be getting an email from us, check your spam, check your quarantine folders, add us to your safe lists. It's a lot of emails get flagged as spam by the providers that you use. Hotmail is a big one right now that doesn't want to accept any of our emails. And it creates problems because people need to verify that they are Canadian podcasters. They need to confirm that their podcast is going to participate. They need to get the email with their graphics in it that they've been nominated. So invitations to events, invitations to surveys that we do on the industry, invitations to Fan Expo, Comic-Con. So if you're not getting our emails, you're not going to hear about all this stuff. Follow our socials. Make sure you are checking our socials. Share our socials. That helps get the word out. And the more people that see this, the more everyone can enjoy it and be part of the community. So we have 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Anyone want to get their last second question in? Ask me about anything. I got 3 minutes to fill. So, AMA. If no one has any other questions, thanks everyone for being a part of this. Thanks for being a part of the community. We're always happy to see everyone submitting a nominations. Oh, it's cat time. This is Ashley. We found him in a ditch behind our apartment. 6 months old, right?
6
weeks
old. When
old.
we found him.
He's now 2 years old.
Yep.
So yeah, he's a big boy. Long cat is long. But yeah, thanks for joining us here today. This is the last one we're doing that we have scheduled. We may do more later, but we'll make sure to let everyone know via our socials. And yeah, 1 minute left. How am I going to flounder for the next minute? If anyone's going out to any of the shows we mentioned tonight, hope to see you there. And if not, make sure you nominate and vote, or nominate your favorite Canadian podcasts by November 1st. Make sure you've confirmed your participation. If you didn't get the email to confirm your participation, go to the directory, search for your podcast, click the edit button for your podcast, and you can confirm your participation at the top of that page. If you do not confirm your participation, you will not be eligible for an award. That's all. That's the minimum we require from you, is to say that you will participate. We require this so that we're not chasing people down for videos when it comes time to put together the awards video, which is like probably a good 60% of the work that goes into these videos, is finding people and making them submit their videos on time. So thanks for everyone for joining. Thanks to Shure, Amber Mac Media, Web Hosting Canada, Licensing Design, and PodCamp Toronto for being big supporters this year. And see ya, I guess, at the awards. Bye.